Happy Independence Day. We, of course, are in Canada where it isn't a holiday, but we can still hear you guys. And
USA.
Whoa.
USA.
Sounds like you're having fun. Remember those games you loved? They're dead now. EA has announced they will be delisting 2 fan favorite Battlefield titles, 3 and 4, from the Xbox 360 and PS3, and will also be shutting down online servers later this year. Oh, and Battlefield Hardline is also being affected. While the games will remain available on PC, making this not the most egregious offense in the epidemic of publishers delisting games, the same cannot be said for a handful of titles published under the now defunct Adult Swim Games label. At least 4 titles are in danger of being delisted. Adult Swim posted identical updates to the Steam pages of the affected games, saying the developers are not available to take over as publisher. However, the developers of one of the games say Adult Swim never even contacted them. In fact, the studio contacted Adult Swim and got ghosted. And if you weren't aware, the threat of wanton game delisting is clearer than ever. Just last week, Playground Games announced that Forza Horizon 4 will be delisted on December 15th due to licensing agreements. But you can probably get it at a discount if you act quick. On a positive note, some of Activision's Transformers games have allegedly been relisted on some digital storefronts. They aren't available for sale right now, but hopefully they'll roll out soon. That's a Transformers pun.
I'm calling the Decepticons.
Free-to-play looter shooter The First Descendant hit the top 10 most played games on Steam, despite some serious microtransaction issues. Also, the name is confusing. Every player plays as a descendant, so how do they know which one was first? Presumably, playing the game would answer that question, but I don't know. Apparently The First Descendant is microtransaction hell. I mean, for starters, the in-game currency bundles are just shy of the purchase price of new playable characters, also called Descendants. I think we got that. You can grind for new Descendants, but the best ones can allegedly take hundreds of hours to unlock.
Pride and accomplishment.
Perhaps worse, purchasable cosmetic paint jobs are one use only, necessitating multiple purchases to color coordinate your skins.
So you like red, eh? $5 5 times.
But even if you, for some reason, think that's acceptable, some players who did make purchases didn't even receive them. Publisher Nexon has apologized for this and offered compensation, which seems to just be limited time boosts for EXP and resource gain. But let's just say you wanted to use those boosts. Well, for the past 24 hours and the second day of the game's full launch, The First Descendant has been unplayable due to server issues. Seems like a blessing. The servers are now back up, but there's an even simpler solution for future issues. Play Warframe instead. It's like they're wearing like mech armor, but it's gooey.
Hot.
The Esports World Cup is kicking off in Saudi Arabia, which has upset some people due to an amount of reasons I probably don't have time to list. But I think the gist is that the nation has been bad at human rights and great at human wrongs. Saudi Arabia is apparently hell-bent on becoming a global hub for gaming and esports. Depending on who you ask, you'll get different answers. Some may say that the nation is in a key growth region for the gaming industry. Others may accuse Saudi Arabia of sports washing, using big sporting events to try and improve their reputation for human wrongs. A phrase Jacob Rush has coined on this show.
Copyright.
Copyright.
It's a trademark.
Do not email him. Unfortunately, the Esports World Cup Foundation is probably dealing with said reputation because that's where the money is right now. Esports isn't exactly raking in the cash. The CEO of the NBA 2K League apparently fired everybody on staff in a 10-minute Zoom call. This is probably because, despite the league existing since 2018, it's likely the first time you've ever heard of it. It was for me. The NBA 2K League will be trying to expand to live events and getting actual NBA players and celebrities to compete. But tell me you don't want to see Steph Curry pretend to care while he plays virtual sport with JoJo Siwa. Maybe you can also see why you should check out our sponsor, Private Internet Access. Their VPN network spans across 6 continents and 91 countries, letting you access your local catalog of content from all over the globe. Whoa, I'm way over here. Plus, with a single subscription, you get unlimited connections, making it easy to run PIA on practically any device. They just concluded their second security audit, putting further emphasis on your privacy and security. And if you're still not convinced, they're 100% open source, and you're free to go digging through the code yourself for peace of mind. So go check out PIA at lmg.gg/PIA GameLinked or by using our link in the description for a special deal with a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. There are 5 quick bits, which is also the number of fingers thousands of Americans used to have on their right hand before the day this video came out. Whew! Dragon Age, the Veilguard, may have some of the most customizable difficulty options of any game. According to Game Informer, one of the game's difficulties, called Unbound, allows players to add auto-aim, change how much help is given by waypoints, adjust damage levels, and even turn off death. Hey, I think it's great to have more options. After all, people can and will make games arbitrarily harder if they want to. Streamer Dr. Decomposing recently beat Elden Ring and defeated all 7 Great Rune bosses using an electric saxophone. That's right, he duded Malenia to death. Not a music fan, I guess.
The funkiest death ever.
Speaking of Elden Ring, FromSoft has nerfed the lightning perfume bottle, which, when combined with the rolling sparks Ash of War, could essentially melt Shadow of the Erdtree's final boss like the Wicked Witch of the West. That's a good image. The developer has likewise tweaked a number of other glitches and exploits that shielded players from the intended experience of getting absolutely reamed by Mesmer the Impaler. FromSoft also fixed some performance issues, but left other long-standing technical problems in place. Look, FromSoft, I'm supposed to have a hard time playing this game. Not my computer, although maybe that's part of the experience. Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa implied in an investor Q&A that the company isn't eager to use generative AI. Rather, they want to make cool experiences that cannot be achieved through technology alone. Making Mario games requires summoning the deep magic. Furukawa cited IP infringement as a major issue with AI, which tracks with the company's public image as a writhing mass of lawyers in a trench coat. In other Nintendo news, the company plans to prevent scalpers from ruining the Switch 2 launch by making a lot of them. Not sure what that means though, since they can't repair Wii U consoles anymore due to running out of spare parts, even though they only sold 5 of those. Gotcha Wii U. Ubisoft's Watch Dogs film has finally started filming after years in development hell. This is big news for the franchise's fan. There's 3 games.
You're welcome, Derek.
Unfortunately, for fans of the Horizon franchise, Netflix's TV adaptation of the first game, Horizon Zero Dawn, may be completely dead. According to Rolling Stone, one of the showrunners has had some hefty allegations thrown against him and was the subject of a robust HR complaint at the beginning of last year. As a result, the project is not moving forward. But hey, at least we have Watch Dogs.
Remember Aiden, the protagonist from the first game?
That game was pretty hype when it first came out. I'll say that. And Final Fantasy XIV's Dawntrail expansion came out 2 days ago, and players are struggling. Though that's less with the gameplay difficulty and more with the fundamentals of literacy. It's like Elden Ring, but for reading. If only Elden Ring had more things to read. Many players have complained that the expansion's story is boring and poorly explained, but some of those same players have likewise admitted to skipping all dialogue outside of voiced cutscenes. I don't know, perhaps Square Enix should consider bringing on LeVar Burton as a consultant. But even if FF14 fans can't agree on the written word, they can at least come together over their beloved low-poly grapes, which were untouched by any graphical upgrade and remain blocky and hilarious as ever.
Hey man, would you like a pyramid of grapes?
Delicious. Hey, you know what would be really hilarious? If you came back on Tuesday for more gaming news. We were all talking in the office here about how funny that would be. Oh, you should totally do it. It would be, can you imagine? Oh, wow.
Of course, will be so impressed.